people about 2 minutes or so just to join us, especially because it's that time of the night where we're either getting home from work or preparing dinner ourselves. So I just want you guys to comment in the chat section and let me know where you guys are from. I'm just waiting here to make sure that the audio and everything is good. So definitely give me a huge thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Now, I have been having a ton of fun doing these live streams with you guys. And hold on, sorry. Is this even, are we on?
It says we're live.
I'm just like, never mind. I'm like throwing myself off over here. So I think the camera's like blinking on and off. So I don't know if we are live or not. Give me guys a second. You guys know there's a live wouldn't be alive without a little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So, okay, sorry. My camera, so one of the cameras that I use to actually do these live streams gives me a little like notification if we're live or not, and it was just blinking that we weren't, so I was really worried that we actually weren't live. And just, okay, we're good. We're back. Welcome everyone, I'm Chef Zee, and today we're going to be making a awesome dish. Now I do want to give people just a little bit to get here. Now, one of the biggest feedback that I have gotten so far with all of these live streams is that you guys actually wanted me to move these live streams from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock because you said that moving it to a little bit of a later time was going to make it much easier for you guys to join us. So I do hope that you guys enjoy today's live at a later time, and just know that moving forward we will be going live a little bit later around this time, with the exception of the next live, which is going to be a little bit early in the day because, spoiler alert, if you don't follow me on Instagram, then you probably don't know that I actually injured my foot, so I just have to take care of business on Friday. So Friday's live stream is actually going to be a little bit early. And also, I should mention that we are going live again on Friday. So be sure to join us. And don't worry, because I will definitely give you guys all of the information. I just want to look at some of the comments. Biggest fan from the Bronx. Hi, how are you? We have Marilyn in the house. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. So you guys can see me. Thank you for letting me know. Saludo from Corona, Queens. I'm actually a Corona girl, so I'm from Corona, Queens. So what's up? How are you? Thank you for all your cooking tips. Thank you guys for watching. That definitely means the world. And we have Jasmine. Yes, you caught the live, and we're so happy that you can join us. Now, we've been live now for a couple of minutes, so I think it's totally okay for us to jump into today's recipe and jump into today's dish. So, oh, actually, I lied. So real quick, I do want you guys to know that this live stream series is going to be a summer series. So if you don't catch today's live, you'll definitely be able to catch some of the other ones because we're going to be going live multiple times a week throughout the summer. And I do hope that you guys enjoy, and don't be afraid to let me know any other dishes that you want me to make so that we can cook live and hang out. And now, for real this time, let's get started. All right, so today we're going to be making some Chofan Dominicano, which is a Dominican style fried rice, which I also like to call Arroz Chino. Now, lucky for you guys, I actually have a video here on my channel on how to make it. So if you haven't already watched it, definitely check it out. And just know that I also have that recipe on my blog. So you can head on over to my website, which is super easy. It's chefzeecooks.com, and you can follow along the recipe there as well. And speaking of the recipe, let's go over all of the ingredients you're going to need to make this amazing dish. So for today's recipe, we're going to need a couple of different ingredients. We're going to need some free-range chicken, and these are honestly 2 chicken breasts that I actually went ahead and I cubed them into small pieces because that's going to help this dish truly come together fairly quickly. Now, in addition to the chicken chicken. We're also going to need a variety of other ingredients, and I'll make sure to pop the ingredient on the screen, and also it'll be listed in the description box, and you can also find this recipe on my website. So a few other ingredients that we're going to need some fresh peppers and onions. I also have here a couple of other ingredients like fresh garlic, some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of oregano, some ground coriander, some eggs, some ham, some kosher salt, some black pepper, and then later on we're also going to need some carrots, which I've gone ahead and I've actually cubed and I've softened. We're also going to need some scallions, which we're going to garnish over top, and I actually added a little other ingredient, which I'll go into a little bit more detail later on. Now, I do want to note that today's recipe is slightly different than the recipe that I shared on my website, and it's also slightly different than the way that you saw me make it in its standalone video, but that's totally fine. One of the differences that is in today's video, honestly, in today's recipe, is that I'm actually making my own homemade adobo on the fly. And this is something that I do all of the time, and something that I also encourage you guys to do, because listen, just because you make your adobo at home doesn't mean that your food isn't going to taste just as tasty as when you use the store-bought adobo, but just know that you can use your favorite seasoning salt and your favorite all-purpose seasoning. Now, the other ingredient that I am adding into today's chofan that's not in the standalone video and is not included in my website, I'm actually including some peas, because when I was preparing for today's video, I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood for color. I really want this dish to come alive. I also want to add a little bit extra vegetables and extra veggies. So I went ahead and I had some extra peas laying around. So I'm going to add that to the recipe as well. And just know that you can really make this recipe as hearty as you want. And you can add as much vegetables, as much chicken, and you can also add as much ham. Now, if you're someone who does not like to mix your food with pork, feel free to omit the ham. However, I also encourage you that if you're going to be adding the ham and including it in this recipe, that you can also have fun with the type of ham that you include. So you can use a smoked ham, you can even use a sweet ham like a maple ham or even a honey ham. I personally love, 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 love this dish. Can I say that anymore? I really like making this dish with a smoked ham, because I love how the smokiness really plays into this dish. It really brings it alive. All right, now before we get started, I just want to quickly look at the messages and see what you guys are talking about. We have Emmy Garcia from San Francisco. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Hello from New York. Hey guys. Hello. Let's see. Did I miss your pastelón? It's funny that you mentioned pastelón. So I actually have a video here on my channel on how to make pastelón. I also have videos all over my social media on how to make pastelón. And for those of you guys wondering, pastelón is literally a sweet plantain lasagna. And let me tell you, riquísimo. It is indulgent. It is so, so good. And I'm literally looking at a bag of plátanos that I didn't get to quick enough, so they went from green to yellow. And I was just telling my husband today, like, man, tal vez no toca hacer un pastelón. Like, we might have to make a pastelón, because I can't think of any other dish that calls for that many sweet plantains. So who knows? I might make that in an upcoming live. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. I personally think it's a little bit too warm for pastelón in the summer. For me, that's more of a holiday dish, but listen, we also don't want food to go to waste.
Someone got the recipes, they're going to be cooking along.
Oh, someone's cooking along. Oh my goodness. Oh, that makes me so excited. Oh, comment along. Let me know how it goes.
Amazing.
So, oh my goodness. I have my husband on the other side of the camera who's helping me. He's also reading your messages just to help me along and make sure that I don't miss anything. Hello from New Jersey. Hello from Key West. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into the recipe. So obviously, we are making a fried rice, so this recipe calls for some rice, which I've gone ahead and I've cooked in my handy dandy rice cooker, which I'm about to get right now. Just a second. Now, you guys, I absolutely love, love, love my rice cooker. Now, here's the trick when you are making some fried rice. you actually want to dry out your rice just a little bit, ever so slightly. So especially if you're making the rice fresh like I did in today, as opposed to using some leftover white rice, which is also something that you can definitely do, and it's also very highly recommended. But sometimes I just decide on that day that I want chofan and I want some fried rice, so I make the rice fresh. So one of the things that I like to do is I actually like to make the rice ahead of time. Let's take that down. So I actually like to make the rice ahead of time, and then I put it into a sheet pan and I spread it out ever so gently. And that's going to really help the rice kind of stiffen up a little bit, which would make it a little bit better to make fried rice. And simply because I can't help myself, I'm gonna taste the rice. Guys, you don't understand my love for rice and beans and rice and beans. So good. Okay, we're gonna set that off to the side. We're actually gonna need that later on, and I have to say that when making this dish, it's super helpful for you to prep all of your ingredients at the very beginning, because it does tend to move a little bit quickly. So here I have some free range eggs, which I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to scramble them. Oh yeah, and this is nothing fancy. We're just gonna scramble the eggs because we're going to need them later on. Yeah, that's good. And now I'm just going to set this off to the side. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and now I'm actually going to season my chicken. Now here I have 2 chicken breasts, free range chicken breasts, you guys know how I do. And I went ahead and I just cubed them and I cut them into smaller pieces. Now you can definitely cut them into bigger pieces, but here's a hack, right? This dish can feed a ton of people, and it can also cook very quickly. And the way to make it cook even quicker is to actually cube the chicken a little bit on the smaller side. And you'd be surprised just how far 2 chicken breasts would go. And especially right now where everything is so expensive at the grocery store, these types of dishes, which are affordable, inexpensive, and quick and easy to make, are ones that are in heavy rotation. So to season this, like I said, we're doing like my own makeshift at home adobo. I'm going to add some onion powder. Oh, it's humid in my kitchen, so it's a little, I don't know if that ever happens to you guys. We're also going to add some garlic powder. And again, the humidity is getting to it. We're also going to add some Dominican oregano for that Dominican flavor. Y'all know how I feel about that. I'm also going to add some ground coriander. And ground coriander is an ingredient that I like to add in my homemade adobo, but it's definitely optional. I'm also going to add some fresh garlic, and fresh garlic is definitely key in this recipe. I know I added some garlic powder. I'm gonna go ahead and add some fresh garlic. And again, guys, if you have your favorite seasoning that you like and it's just like your favorite all-purpose seasoning, you can also use that as well. I know that in the regular video I actually used, I believe was a chicken bouillon cube. This time around I like to just add some kosher salt as my salt, and honestly all you need is a teaspoon, because remember there is going to be soy sauce in this dish, so you don't want to kill it with salt in the beginning, because we're going to be adding so many other things that have so much salt in it that it is also going to give it some really good flavor. And as I mentioned in my past video, I actually recommend that if you're like me and you love cooking with kosher salt, which by the way, give it a shot. It's so good. You won't regret it and you won't go back. One of the things I recommend is one day on a Sunday afternoon, just figure out how large one of your pinches are. Like I know that one of my pinches is roughly half a teaspoon, but your pinch might be a little bit different. So it's always good to know. And then you can kind of gauge how much salt you're putting into your own food, and you know if you're putting too much or too little, if you have a good sense of how large one of your pinches is. I added roughly 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. So now we're just gonna mix this all together until it's well combined. And this already smells and looks amazing. So Rachel wants to know, which rice cooker do I own? Girl, let me tell you about my rice cooker because I am so excited about my rice cooker. So my rice cooker is the Oster rice cooker. It is nothing fancy. It is at most $20 or $25 in Target. It was actually my husband's idea, and it is hands down one of the most used kitchen small appliance that I have here. I'll link it down below for anybody who's interested, but honestly, it's nothing fancy. It's the Oster one. It has one function, on, off, that's it. I know there are some rice cookers that they talk to you. You can do all kinds of things. This is not one of those, but this gets the job done, and I absolutely love it. All right, so I'm just mixing everything until it's well combined. It smells amazing. Let me see if there's anyone else with other questions. Hola from Boston.
Are you saving this live so we can watch it later?
Am I saving? Yes. So of course I'm saving the live. So with any of my live streams, you can actually go back and watch the replay. I always keep them up. This is the third live stream that I've done so far, and this is going to be a summer series that we can continue doing throughout the rest of the summer. It's just a super awesome way for me to engage with you guys, for me to cook. And honestly, I just love cooking and talking to you guys, and this is hands down super, super amazing. So, wait, just tell me.
It's a long one.
Oh, okay. So we actually got a good comment. So, Mi Vida Bellissima wants to know, can I do a basics series? So the short answer to that is, if you guys are interested in a basics series, I would 100% love to make it happen. If you guys have been with me for some time, then you guys know that once upon a time, I used to actually have a series on my channel here called Chef Zee Tips, which I stopped doing simply because it wasn't really something that you guys were interested in, but I can definitely bring that series back, evolve it, and just kind of go basics one-on-one with you. So if you want to learn how to make the perfect white rice, if you want to learn how to scramble the perfect egg, or if you want to learn how to make the perfect grilled cheese, which funny enough, like, it's not as easy as people think. These are things that I would 100% love making videos on. I love when you guys comment and make suggestions like that because it definitely helps me out. All right. So Noelia wants to know, I love when you make, but sometimes I don't understand words. So can you? Oh, okay. So essentially, let me know if I understood this correctly. So essentially, you're saying that sometimes you don't always understand some of the things that I say, so you would appreciate if I'd made some of my recipes in Spanish. And the answer to that is, por supuesto. There was a time where I did do recipes in Spanish, but I think I covered this in another video. Algunos de los comentarios que me dejaron fue medio feo. And so, como que no me animé, me desanimé de hacer los videos en español, pero I would love to make them again. It's something that I always plan to do, and again, if you guys want to see it, I'll make it happen, and Spanish videos is definitely high up on my list. So next up for this recipe, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to start peeling the onion because honestly, I can be here all day talking to you guys and never get through the recipe. Not that I mind, honestly. So we're just going to rough chop this onion. And this is a white onion, but you can definitely use a red onion or a white onion. It's totally up to you. As a matter of fact, in the video, I use a red onion. And today I'm going to use a white onion because it's what I'm in the mood for. And you don't have to really overthink it. Just use what you have on hand and this dish will still be amazing and still come alive. So Rachel wants to know, do I put 1 part rice or 2 part rice in the rice cooker? Or the 1-to-1 ratio? That's actually a really, really good question. So the directions tell you, I'm not even gonna lie, the directions tell you to do a 2-to-1 ratio. Negative. I don't do that. I hold true. I hold true to my 1-to-1 ratio. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna show you why. babe, give him a close-up. Give him a close-up. Look at that. Look at that. This is a 1-to-1 ratio, and honestly, I think that came out perfect. Like, if I had used the 2-to-1 ratio as they recommend, the rice would have come out super mushy or empatar, como dicen. And So I think this is really nice. And honestly, making the perfect white rice, I always say this, is an exercise in knowing your stove. So again, I swear by a 1-to-1 ratio. I know that there are people who do the 2-to-1 ratio. Me personally, the way that I cook rice, whenever I do a 2-to-1 ratio, I'm essentially making a sopao because me queda super mushy. Now, again, it also depends on how you cook the rice. I let the water dry out before I actually then steam it. Some people I notice, like when they use the higher ratios, what they do is like they cook the rice on a high flame for much longer than I do, or they steam it for longer. I don't know how they do it, but it's not how I do it.
They're asking about your apron.
Oh, y'all want to know about the apron? Oh, okay. I'm on the line. Oh, do you guys like it? Let me stop being ridiculous. So what you guys are seeing, I'm just gonna keep it honest. You know what? You guys got the exclusive. YouTube family, what's up? So this is a custom apron that I made. And if you like it, then sooner rather than later, you might be able to get your own hands on it. So I'm curious to know if you guys like the apron. It's a denim apron with custom leather strap and a custom little apron logo. Mira, I'm on the line. Hey! Let me know if you guys like the apron. I've been wanting to create my own aprons for a really long time. So I've actually been experimenting with a few of them. So if you guys can't tell, the fact that you guys like them makes me super, super happy because I've been working really hard at this for the last couple of years to really make this dream come true. So stay tuned. So I'm just cutting this onion. We're just rough chopping it. We're just cubing it. And as you can see, I just have here a small white onion, and that's gonna go into our dish later on. Now, I like to infuse as much color into my food. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to rough chop a green bell pepper and a red one. But if all you have is a green one, that's totally okay. If all you have is a red one, that's fine too. Same thing with the orange one. Listen, the red one is gonna be a little bit sweeter, but it's still going to taste really, really good. So we're just going to rough chop this. And again, no real science to this. I like to just get the white part out because no one likes to eat it. So I just toss this off to the side. And then we're just gonna, same thing with this. Oh, I am so excited to be doing these live with you guys. I can't express to you how much fun we have. So if you guys want to see any other recipe that you guys would like for me to cook live, always comment. I'm always reading the comments, always taking the suggestions. So just let me know. All right. So we got this chopped up.
We'll have to give them a link to the apron.
Crystal M says, oh my God, I need basics. Girl, I got you. Dante says, my recipes are amazing and they've helped you become a better cook. And let me tell you something, that is music to my ears. What you guys don't see is that I put so much work into these recipes and making sure that they're super easy to follow and also super easy to make, because at the end of the day, when it comes to making your dinner and when it comes to making your dishes, I want you guys to feel like a total boss in the kitchen, like your own chef. You're the chef in your house. I want you to feel super, super confident, because that confidence then translates into the flavor of the food. And who doesn't like to flex in the kitchen? Like, I know some of y'all, I'm speaking for the ladies, even the men, where you come over, where your mother-in-law comes over and they're like, aprendí a cocinar. And you're like, yes, I did actually.
How's your foot?
Someone's asking, how's my foot? My foot is doing better. I still am on the boot. So if you see me hobble and wobble around in a bit, just know that we're still healing over here, but I did get some good news from the doctor, and while my foot is still injured, it looks like I will be making a speedier recovery than initially anticipated, which is music to my ears because nobody wants to be wobbling around in a boot in the summer. You know, I'm trying to have my hot girl summer. I'm trying to go kayaking. I'm trying to go hiking. I'm trying to be outside like the rest of y'all. So thank you for asking. I truly appreciate it.
A lot of people looking for keepers.
A lot of y'all looking for keepers, and you know what? Me too. I'm looking for keepers too, and what I mean by that is, you guys are gonna be so mad. You guys are gonna be so mad. We have filmed the Keep It video twice, and not even to brag, but my Keep It recipe is out of this world, and the reason why I haven't shared it is because I want to share it during the holidays. When I think of Keepers, I think of Thanksgiving, I think of Nochebuena. And so the 2 times that I've actually filmed the Keep It video, it's either been like right after the holidays and I'm like, I want to hold on to this, or just too early. So, and then one time it was out of focus and I was like, but Keep It recipe video, trust and believe, you guys are getting it this year. You heard it here first. It's been a long time coming, and honestly, I'm probably even silly for holding on to that thing and putting that video in the vault. Like, I know you guys are looking for it, and trust me, it's coming. Bien lindo, quiero un apron. Thank you. I'm so happy you think it's stylish. Trust me, they are coming. They are so coming. Oh my goodness. Apron is super cute. I'm loving that you guys are loving this apron. Yes. Thank you guys. You know, I might have to like release it earlier than anticipated just based on some of this feedback. I love it. I love it. So Rachel wants to know, what type of cutting board do I use for meat? So I actually have a wooden cutting board that I use for meat, for cooked meat, I will say. And I keep them separate. I'm looking at it right now. It's a completely separate cutting board. Do you mind getting it for me, babe? I have my husband here, so he's grabbing me the cutting board. Yeah. So here's the cutting board that I actually use for cutting meats. And as you can see, the really important thing that you want to focus on, and this is cooked meat, I should say. So it has these ridges. So a lot of the times when you cook some meat, you do want to let it rest because those juices will flow out and these ridges will catch any of those juices. So this cutting board and this cutting board to you guys might look almost like exactly the same, but one's bigger than the other. So that's how I keep track, because I actually don't like to mix and match my cutting boards too much. And then when it comes to raw meat, I have a regular, I guess, like plastic silicone cutting board, but it's a completely different color than what I use to chop my veggies. And so that's just like an easy trick to kind of keep track of your different cutting boards. And if you're not already, don't mix and match your cutting boards, okay? I mean, don't use the same cutting board that you would use to dice raw chicken and raw meat as you use to dice your onions and peppers, because that's how you have cross-contamination and that's how people get sick. Oh my goodness. Big Bullda. Oh my, you're an OG. Thank you for the super chat. That means so much to me. Dude, you have been around since the very, very beginning, and thank you so much for the support. Like, you're like family to me at this point. Like,
so can you do food adventures?
Can I do food? Yes. Oh, absolutely. You know, okay. I will do food adventures, but you guys have to convince me to get this handsome stud behind the camera, to get him in front of the camera. Because when I go on my food adventures, I go on them with him. And one thing you guys may not even know is that I'm actually quite the picky-ish eater. He's not. He will try anything at least once, so a food adventure would not be complete without him. So I will do it. I just need to convince him to get on this side of the camera with me, and I think you guys will love him. Oh my goodness. So, Estibali, and I'm sorry if I did not say that correctly, you said that you made my pernil recipe and it came out super good. The same thing for the pollo al horno. Thank you so much. That pollo al horno recipe, let me tell you, I do it all the time. because it's the dish that keeps on giving. Like the juice that comes out of it, oh, amazing. Somebody says I'm a G doing a live while hopping around. Yes, sir, I sure am. These lives make me so happy and I enjoy them so much, and I just want to continue doing things that bring me joy. So I'm not going to let a little injury keep me from just like kikiing with you guys. What about making Dominican hot dogs? Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't had one in years, but I might have to go to DR myself, have one, and then recreate it so I can show you guys how to recreate it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start preparing the rest of the dish. So, oh, I lied. Oh my goodness. Mentira. We're actually going to take our ham and we're going to dice it up. I got so excited talking to you guys que se me olvidó el jamón. Now, as I mentioned before, the ham that I'm using is a smoked ham, but you can definitely use a honey ham or even a maple ham, and it will make your dish come together and taste really good. Now, one of the things that I highly recommend is that you roughly cut the ham more or less about the same size as you cut the chicken. Now, the ham that I'm using is actually already pre-cooked, so I'm not going to get sick if I sneak a piece right now. And really when we're cooking, all we're doing is browning it. So we want to dorarlo, you know, have it get a little bit of color. So I'm just going to transfer this over into a bowl. And then we're going to get to cooking. I'm going to... so good.
Brand of ham that you use?
I can't remember, but I bought it at Whole Foods. I bought it. I'll link it down below. Also, I have to say that since I injured my foot and I can't drive because I injured my right foot, I've been testing out a bunch of different at-home grocery delivery services. I have thoughts, but it's been quite the interesting experience. And I got this from Whole Foods because I used the Amazon delivery for today's video. You look happy, inspiring. Thank you so much. Ooh, so somebody asked, can I do arroz con fideo or locrio de cerdo? Yes, I love arroz con fideo. It reminds me of my childhood. So one of the things I like to eat whenever I'm not feeling well is arroz con fideo with just some like regular like cilantro lime chicken. There's something just like super comforting about it. So I can definitely, that's actually a really good idea for a live.
We have a video.
Oh, and my husband just reminded me that we actually have a video here on my channel on how to make arroz con fideo. So once this live stream is done, I'm going to keep it up so you guys can rewatch it, and I will update the link section in the description box just so that I remember to link all these videos that you guys are asking about, because we do have some of them. So I'm going to move ahead and I'm going to start warming up the stove so that we can bring everything together. Otherwise, no me muevo de aquí, and we're going to keep bonchichando and having a good time. So here we go. Wobble, wobble, wobble. I don't know how to wobble in a way that, you know, doesn't make it awkward. But, you know, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. So let me just bring my ingredients over real quick, because our workstation is now over here. And again, if I haven't mentioned it so far, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I know a lot of you guys said that this time was a much better time for you guys because 6 o'clock was just like almost like a little bit too hectic, where you guys were like coming home from work, either on the train. I know somebody said that they had even stayed at work a little bit longer just to catch the live, and like, wow. Thank you. So I'm hoping that today's live at 7 p.m. is a little bit easier for you guys. Now, for those of you guys who joined us a little bit later, hello, welcome. We are making a Chofan Dominicano, which is a Dominican Style Fried Rice, which also goes by the name Arroz Chino. Now, I do have the recipe listed down below in the description box. It's also listed on my website, chefzeecooks.com. And super easy. I definitely tweaked it a little bit, but nothing that's going to alter the flavor drastically. And currently I'm just waiting on my stove to heat up. So I always like to hover my hand over top and see how we doing. Let's see how you guys are doing. Somebody said they're so glad you found the channel. Thank you. I'm so happy you found us too. Yes, I see some of you guys really want my husband to come on camera. I want him to. So these comments definitely help me plead my case and convince him. Thank you. Someone wants to know, when is the cookbook coming? Just gotta wait and see. It's definitely something that is coming. We're working really hard on it. So, and you guys will, just like the apron, just like you guys got the exclusive, the minute that the cookbook is ready, you guys will also be the first one to know. Yes, more soups, definitely. Get my mom to join me on one of these lives. Yes, I would like for her to join me on one of these lives. It's funny because when we did the video together, she was so nervous, but I felt like she was so good. She was such a natural, and I've been asking her to come back on camera ever since then because I know that you guys also want to see her. So this is pretty warm. Now this is a trick too, like anytime that you are cooking, you definitely want to let your pan come to temperature a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the oil. And what that does is when you let your pot come to temperature and then you add the oil, it just allows the oil to just warm up ever so quickly. The other thing you always want to do when you're cooking, you want to be mindful of the different temperatures of everything that you're using. So for example, my chicken has been sitting out now for at least 30 minutes. So it's about room temperature. You never want to take chicken straight out of the refrigerator and put it into a hot pot. You want to kind of let it like just come up to temperature, warm up a little bit, and then start cooking. And then the same thing with the pot. Sorry.
Someone said, are you making the green sauce?
Am I making green sauce today? No. Wait.
They were asking.
Oh, so Jenny wants to know, am I making green sauce? I'm not making green sauce today because what we're making is some Dominican Style Chofan, and I typically like to make the green sauce whenever I'm doing some Peruvian style chicken or even a taco night because I think that that goes really, really good. But I didn't think to actually do it with this dish, even though this dish would actually go really nicely with a little bit of heat to it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start cooking the chicken. So I'm going to add the chicken to the pot. Yes, you guys hear that sizzle? That's what we want. Oh yeah. And you just want to spread the chicken apart just so that it cooks super quick. And again, because we cut it into small pieces, this isn't going to take a long, long time. No shrimp in today's. So, let me get, yeah. So today's recipe has chicken and ham in it. If you wanted to add some seafood in the form of shrimp, you definitely could. You definitely can. I didn't in today's video simply because I really wanted to make this dish super quick and super affordable, and just using 2 pieces of chicken breast that I got at the grocery store and a ham steak makes this dish, I think altogether I spent less than $10 on this dish alone. And honestly, those 2 cups of rice are going to go ahead and they're going to feed like about 4 people. Now, si tú te comes la paila entera del arroz, like if you eat the whole thing of rice, then maybe it'll feed less than 4 people, but in my house, it usually feeds about 4 or 5 people. And honestly, you just want to cook the chicken I want to say about 80% of the way before we add the ham. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm now going to add the ham. Well, no, I'm not going to add the ham. I'm actually going to like turn the chicken. Sorry. Oh, smells amazing. Oh no, we lost one. I always keep tongs ready for when this happens. So I'm just going to mix this all. I'm now going to add the ham. Now it smells amazing. Oh wow. Oh wow, so I see here from Edward Vargas, thank you so much for the super chat. That means the world. You said you love all your recipes. Hi from Cali. Thank you so much. This means, oh, thank you. You guys are too much. You guys are gonna make me emotional over here. Like, I'm a big old baby. I can't. So I'm just now mixing the ham in with the chicken. And this is honestly the benefit to dicing the chicken up into small pieces, is that it cooks really, really quickly. Just gonna lower the flame on this just a little bit. So now that we added the chicken, we definitely want to give the ham just a little bit of time to also brown up ever so slightly. Now, like I said before, it's really, really important that you have all of your ingredients just diced up, ready to go, because like with any stir fry, this thing comes together like that. So you want to make sure that you're ready when the dish is ready for you. And all I'm doing right now, I'm just holding off and waiting for the ham to kind of brown up and crisp a little bit. The ham itself is releasing its own juices, its own salt, and it's adding its own flavor to the chicken. Now, you guys are not here in my kitchen, and I wish that you were, because you guys could smell the amazingness that's currently happening. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this another quick stir. Can I use honey roasted
Turkey?
Oh yes, you can absolutely use honey roasted turkey instead. Actually, it's funny because I grew up eating the turkey ham, and I never actually thought about using turkey ham in this dish instead, but that would taste absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that next time. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of turkey ham. Oh, looks amazing. Let's see what you guys are talking about. So somebody says, hey, you like my pans? Thank you so much. So the pans that I'm using today are by Green Pan. They are a non-toxic, non-stick brand. By the way, this is not sponsored, but I do love a lot of their pans. And you guys know I love using pans that are nice and brightly colored because it's a great way for me to showcase my personality. And if you're interested in knowing what pots and pans that I highly recommend, I do have a video here on my channel. But I will be updating that video because since I've made that video, there's been a couple of other pots and pans that have really made their way into the rotation. Now I hear this popping and sizzling, so I'm gonna get back to this real quick. Oh, now just like that, everything is nice and brown and has a beautiful color, which means that we are developing amazing, amazing flavor. So to that, I'm now going to add the onions and the peppers. And again, you can use all green bell peppers or red bell peppers. You can even use a red onion or white onion. It's totally up to you. Now, I like for my onions and my peppers to have a little bit of a bite, so I'm not going to saute them too long. And to that, we're going to add the soy sauce. Now I like to add little by little because it's easier to add than it is to take away. Gonna mix that in. I'm gonna pump up the flame. Yes. Again, I didn't add all of the soy sauce right here, right now, because I like to leave some off to the side just in case we need a little bit more. I'm now going to start adding the rice. And you want to work the rice in. You'd be surprised how much 2 cups of rice is. Just going to add that in. And just work it in there. Now, if you're someone who likes your onions a little bit softer with less of a bite, you don't have to, you can actually let them saute for a little bit longer. Now, if you want them like super crunchy, almost raw, you can actually add them at the same time that you added the rice. So now I'm just gonna work this all in there. Work it in there. Yep. Now, because I'm using a non-stick non-stick pan, I don't want it to scratch, because the minute you start to scratch your non-stick pans, they essentially become useless. So I always like to use these silicone spatulas that you see me using here. And I bought these at Target, and I have a ton linked in my Amazon store for those of you guys who are interested. And that's just like a really great way to also increase the longevity of your pots and your pans. So I'm just working this in. Oh, it looks great. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add some more soy sauce. I'm actually going to move this out the way because I need a little bit more room. The girl needs to hold this handle. Here we go, yes. Now we talking. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. You just want to mix this all in until everything is covered in that soy sauce. Yummy. As you can see here, we have a couple of little clumps. I just want to work that into the sauce. Oh yeah. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. So, did I cook the rice with salt? The answer to that is very little. I cooked it. So when I usually make white rice, I cook it with a lot more salt if I know I'm having it by itself or with beans. But whenever I'm making this dish, I use about the third of the usual amount that I would be adding. So to answer your question, I don't know if you guys heard me, but I did add a little bit of salt, but not as much as normal, just because this dish itself is going to have a good amount of salt. Now this looks amazing. Oh yeah. So this right here is essentially done. Let me turn down. So I went ahead and I actually reduced the flame of the rice. The rice is practically done. Now, as I mentioned before, I actually like to make sure, actually I lied, this rice is not almost done. Just kidding, but that's fine. We could do two things at once. So the thing with this, I really like my onions and peppers to have a little bit of a crunch. And as soon as you have worked in that soy sauce into the rice, you're almost done. We're gonna go ahead now, we're gonna add some of the toppings. I reduced the flame, and I'm actually going to make the scrambled eggs if this thing ever turns on. So I'm actually going to make the scrambled eggs. Now, you can cook the scrambled eggs in the pot itself. I actually don't like to do that because I just like to cook it separately. And one of the things that you can also do is you can make this dish ahead of time. And if you make it ahead of time, don't add the eggs. Add the eggs right when you're about to serve it, because eggs that have just been sitting for a while tend to get a little bit of rubbery and tend to get a little tough, and we definitely don't want that. So I'm just going to mix this again. Oh, this looks amazing. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do next is I have the pan that I'm gonna make the eggs warming up, and now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients to the rice while we wait for this to come up to temperature. So to my rice, babe, let's get a top down view so they can see what's going on. So to this, we're gonna add some carrots. Now, I personally love adding carrots to my chofan because it's going to give it a nice little bit of sweetness. We're also going to add some peas. Now, the peas are optional. I actually added the peas today because I wanted to have a little bit of color. As you can see here, this dish is pretty dark, and we want to add a little bit more vibrancy to it, and it's also a great way to add a little bit more color. So we're just going to gently fold this in. And we want to fold it in because I did boil the carrots ahead of time, and so they're nice and soft. Now, the benefit of using fresh carrots is that fresh carrots tend to be a little bit sweeter than frozen carrots. So if you have fresh carrots around, I highly recommend softening them. Like, you just put them in some boiling water, And then once they're nice and soft, you just cube them and then you add them to the chofan at the very end, and it gives a nice little pop of sweetness. Now, if all you have are frozen peas and carrots, that's totally fine and that will work. I just like to layer different flavors in a dish like this just so that it doesn't feel like one giant ball of salt, because I know sometimes with certain fried rices, like all you taste is rice and salt. But here we want to taste all the different veggies. So that's another reason why I recommend keeping the onions and the peppers a little bit of crunchy, because they have a little bit more bite, a little bit more flavor. Same thing with the carrots. We're now going to go ahead and we're going to move on to actually making the eggs. So, and this is going to move super, super quickly. Hold on. Oh, a little bit of the soy sauce got in there, but that's totally fine. So to this, we're just going to add a little bit of some regular oil. And again, this is just, we're gonna scramble this. Oh, this looks amazing. And this is really going to come together in absolutely no time. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying today's live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For those of you guys who have joined us a little bit late, we are making some Chofan Dominicano, which is a Dominican style fried rice. I went ahead, I mixed everything together. It's looking amazing and delicious. And then here off to the side, I'm just quickly scrambling some eggs, which I'm now going to fold into the rice. And you can make this rice ahead of time. And if you do, then I just recommend that you actually make the eggs right before you're about to serve it, because the last thing any of us want is to eat some rubbery eggs. Now, fun fact, my stepdad hates it, doesn't want to know about eggs, and I actually invited him over for dinner because esto es mucho arroz. This is a lot of food. I don't want it to go to waste. So he's actually going to join us for dinner. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take some out for him before I put in the eggs, just so that he can join us for dinner. Let me know if you guys have a picky eater in your family and call them out. Comment in the section and let me know who's the picky eater in your house. In my house is definitely my stepdad and my sister. So I'm just going to take some out for him. Richie, if you're watching, this is for you. All right, so now that we got that settled, I'm now going to add the eggs into the rice, and we're just going to very gently fold it into the rice. So here we go. Just add that. And now we're just going to work it into the rice. And as you can see, oh, it adds such a nice bite of color. So, so nice. Amazing. And speaking of color, we're now going to garnish this with some fresh scallions for some more color, some more flavor. I'm actually going to work this in a little bit because I love scallions and I don't want to be cheap with the scallions in this dish. Oh, so, so, so good. So here we go, a little bit more. All right, so that is our chofan. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move this over to the island where we're now going to get to eat. But before I do, let me just protect my workstation. Yeah. So I'm just getting everything ready so that we can eat, because it is that time of the night where you guys know dinner needs to be ready. So here we go. So, so, so good. Oh, this smells amazing. Smells so good. All right, who else is hungry? I am so ready. So ready to dig into this. So the plates are my favorite color, blue, and they're actually by Le Creuset. And let me tell y'all something. I bought these on sale. That's why I only have 2 of them. one, two. I bought them at Home Goods, and if you guys are huge fans of Le Creuset, then I definitely recommend that you actually buy them during the holidays at Home Goods and TJ Maxx and HomeSense. They have different colors. I love these because they resemble like a little mini wok, and I thought it was appropriate for today's dish. And again, one of my biggest hacks is these things are super expensive if you go and buy them directly at Le Creuset, but I always like to shop for them during the holiday seasons at Home Goods and TJ Maxx and their family of stores because they usually have them at an unbeatable price. So it's now time to eat. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna make myself a plate. Yes, ma'am. Oh, so, so, so good. Look at that. Look at all the color. Look at all the flavor. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see how. Now, unlike my stepdad, I don't have no issues with eggs, let me tell you. I actually welcome them and really like them. I'm going to give this a taste. See how we did. Oh, so good. Babe, let me see this. Let me see a close up. So, what we have here is some chicken, some ham, some nice sweet carrots, the crunch of the scallions. We have some eggs, and we have everything that has just been tossed in a nice sauce. And because we kept those peppers nice and crunchy, they really add so much more flavor. And even those red peppers adds a nice other pop of sweetness, which I really, really love. Now, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. And before I log off, I just want to see what you guys are talking about. Which soy sauce do I recommend? I actually recommend a variety of different soy sauce. I always look for low sodium soy sauce when I know that I'm making a dish like this. Honestly, half the soy sauce that I use, I don't even know how to pronounce because they're in Japanese. I go to the Japanese market over there in Jersey and a couple of Asian markets here in New York City. And I literally use like the Google Translate like thing where you like hover the phone over it and it tells you what it is. But for the most part, when I don't have any of those like specialty soy sauce, I just go with regular old Kikkoman, which I think that's how you, I hope that's how you say it. Yeah, Kikkoman, that's how you say it. So that's what I use. And that's what I use today. Somebody said, oh, yo lo quiero, so good. Someone said Dodger blue. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with the color blue. The apron is blue. The cabinets are blue. Everything blue. I love blue. Oh, nice.
If anybody's cooking along, how they're doing.
If anybody's cooking along, well, there was somebody who was cooking along, and I'm curious to know, how did it go for you? I hope we're eating at the same time. Let me know how it came out for you guys. I totally am so appreciative of the fact that you guys were able to join us on today's live. I know it's 7 o'clock. You guys requested a little bit later. I hope that this time really does work a little bit better for the majority of you. I absolutely love doing these live streams, and I love that you guys are taking the time to spend with me. Looks amazing. Thank you. The best chofan that you've seen? Well, thank you, darling. That's quite the compliment. Thank you. Yeah, somebody said, where can I get a plate? Oh, aguacate. Mira, se me olvidó faltó el aguacate. You are totally right.
Someone just made it to taste good.
Someone just made it taste good? Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. Buen provecho.
Somebody asked broccoli and mushrooms. Yeah.
They add broccoli and mushrooms. I'm with you on the broccoli. The mushrooms, I'm a little picky when it comes to mushrooms, but I 100% see that being just like a fire bomb combination. My husband's on the other side like, I can see that. We're going to try that. Like, we could totally actually have broccoli in the refrigerator, so if you wanted to like toss them in there later, we definitely could. Yeah, it's not too traditional, but I agree. I can see how the broccoli mushroom combination is so good. Someone said mañana, cooking it. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing for taking the time out to hang out with us. Now, it's been an hour. I can't believe just how quickly an hour passed by. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Keep in mind that the ingredients are listed down below. The recipe is also listed on my website. We tweaked it a little bit today. I made my own homemade adobo, which is what I used to season the chicken. I also added a little bit of peas, which was not in the original recipe. However, all that just adds to the color profile and the flavor of this dish. So if you definitely want to make it, click those links and follow along. I'll be sure to add some of the other links for some of the other videos that I mentioned in today's live stream. Don't go too far. Number one, if you're not following me yet on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Instagram, because Instagram I'm always just like showing you guys like my regular day on Instagram. Sometimes I show you what I'm working on, what I'm developing. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you're not already. Don't go too far. We're going live again on Friday, and I think that you guys are going to like Friday's video because it's something a little bit different than what I've been making lately here on my channel. And don't worry, my regular videos are not going anywhere. I'll still be uploading those as well, in addition to going live, and we'll be going live at least twice a week throughout the summer. So I really do hope that you guys are enjoying this summer series, this cook with me, these live streams. I haven't figured out a name yet. It started as an experiment. I was really enjoying it. You guys are really enjoying it. So I was like, you know what? We're doing this all summer, okay? We're cooking together. My hair is probably like a huge frizz ball right now because hace calor, hace calor.
I would love to cook alongside you next time. Can you tell us the next dish and how to prepare?
Yes, so I always let you guys know at least 24 hours in advance what it is that I'm making. However, if you guys want to do like a cook along, I can definitely let you guys know well in advance so that you guys can get the ingredients in advance, and I'll definitely work that out. As a matter of fact, I will try and do something like that for next week's live, because I do actually plan well ahead of time, because I myself have to get the ingredients for when we're cooking together.
Don't forget to show us how you wash, clean your pot.
Yes, so someone said, so Baby J Online, hello, said don't forget to show us how you wash and clean your pots and pans and stovetop. And I am actually filming a clean with me video where I share with you guys my tips and tricks on how I clean my stovetop, how I maintain my white countertops, and how I care for 98% of my pots and pans, with the exception of my cast iron pans. So that's a video that is highly requested and one that I am 100% filming this summer. So it's something that will be coming very soon. Edward says, respect for you and family. Thank you so much. Jose said, I love your recipes, especially the Cuban ones. Thank you so much. They'll also be, so I know the last two live streams that I've done have been Dominican. Well, the first live stream was actually a Cuban recipe, and then we did 2 Dominican ones and another Cuban recipe. I will be doing it here on my live stream. I actually took a poll, and I don't know, I'm in the mood for some picadillo. So definitely keep on the lookout for that, because I will be cooking picadillo live with you guys. It's one of my favorite things to eat, okay?
They're asking if they're going to be Wednesdays and Fridays.
So the lives, so I want you know what, I would love your input, honestly. So the lives, I want them to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if Wednesdays and Fridays work better for you guys, blow up my comment section and let me know what you will prefer. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a poll and I'm going to post it on the community tab so that you guys can vote. This week it was on Wednesday and Friday because of my little injured toe, so I had to go to the doctor and kind of deal with this, but that'll be wrapped up by the end of the week. So I plan on moving into a Tuesday Thursday schedule. But again, I'm here, listen, we're doing this together. I'm here with you guys. So if Tuesdays and Thursdays don't work for you guys and Wednesdays and Fridays works better, we can make that happen. We can totally make that happen.
Someone said make mondongo.
Ooh, mondongo. Talk about something I freaking love. Mondongo con yuca. Anyways, guys, I can be here all day, and I don't want my food to get cold. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back in 2 days when I do my next live stream. Come back next week. You guys know the deal. Subscribe to my channel. Show me love on Instagram. Lo quiero a todo. And until next week, I'm Chef Zee y buen provecho.